Okay, so good morning and welcome to today's special edition of Seely Talks, brought to you by Scalar, our automation powerhouse, in collaboration with our friends and partners from Delia, Finland and NICE. I'm Christian Valkama, head of Scalar, and with me today in the studio we have Sam Salonen. He
Morning.
is the Senior Business Manager for Delia Robotics and AI. Sam is an experienced IT and automation professional with over a decade of know-how in this domain.
Thanks for that.
Pleasure
to be here.
Pleasure to have you in the studio. And alongside Sam, joining us from Delia is Heidi Koivuperä, Development Manager and Product Owner for Delia's My Intelligent Work environment.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice to have you here today. Then we have Antti Kiukas, who some of you may know as our Group Marketing Director and the host of Seely Talks. But what you maybe did not know is that Antti has a bit of a background, and when I say a bit of a background, quite an extensive experience as a management consultant, helping customers develop their customer-facing operations, and here to share some of that knowledge with us today.
Yeah,
And
great to have you, or be here. yeah. I'm used to actually do the interviewing. Great to have you here.
Must feel a bit weird.
Good.
And also joining us from over in Sweden, we have Göran Rodin, who is the AI and Robotics Solutions Executive for NICE in the Nordics region, also a seasoned automation vet. Nice to have you on board, Göran.
Thank you, Christian.
We have quite an information-packed 3/4 of an hour ahead of us. We'll kick off by talking a bit about the future of customer encounters. What are the solutions and technologies that are powering and driving these, and how these solutions are being used to create real-life benefits. After this, Göran will briefly introduce NICE and their solutions that are being used to build these extraordinary customer experiences. And we saved the best for last, so we'll sort of dive into Delia's success story of how this has been implemented in practice with their internationally awarded My Intelligent Working environment. But let's start with discussing customer encounters, and I thought that I would start with sharing a personal encounter that I actually had a few weeks back. I was traveling for business, first time in a while, as you can imagine, and it was getting late and I realized that my itinerary wasn't going to work and I needed to change my ticket. So I opened up the mobile app and looked for the functionality, which wasn't there. On the ticket it said contact the call center, so I rang up the customer service, listened to the jingle, and then after a few minutes was informed that it had closed 9 minutes ago at 10 p.m. So there was no way for me to
Classic situation.
update my ticket, and I didn't get worried. I just realized I'll have to purchase a new ticket and worry about this later. But that got me thinking about the customer experience and the interaction and how easy it would be to enable this kind of service with the tools and technology that we have at our disposal, and that's what we're here to talk about today.
Yes.
So let's take a look at the future of customer service encounters and dive into that, or maybe a reality for some organizations like Delia.
At least we could say like a hopeful future of many organizations, because as Christian said, we have all the technologies available, so why not harness that and actually do something with our customer encounters and enable our customers to actually get good service promptly and without any problems.
Indeed. I know, Sam, you have an interesting outlook or overview of what this future of customer encounters look like and what the technologies are that are powering that. Maybe you could walk us through this sort of omni-channel experience.
This is basically a concept that we have built up in Delia, calling the customer interaction journey, which basically starts as all customer encounters with the customer. The customer has a need to contact us for some reason, and of course we enable a multi-channel approach. So you can either call us, email us, or email, you can take a chat, you can use online tools or whatever you want to do. To make this more secure, it's always, of course, good to put some strong identification on top of that, so you actually know who you're talking with, who is the customer that you're serving. Once you get through that phase, you actually know who the customer is. Then you can start the like smart routing of the task. Taking up, you can basically look at the install base of the customer, what the customer has, and make assumptions based on that. Connect that to your workforce management system and actually bring up the best customer service agents that can serve that customer based on the assumptions. And in cases where you have like tone dials or spoken menus that you have in your phone system, then of course you actually can get down to the actual call cause, why the customer is calling. And again, once use the smart routing to connect the customer to the right person so that you get the first time resolution done and the rate high. You actually, the customer doesn't have to call again and doesn't get transferred to another person. And in the background, once you have gotten that routed, of course you can have automation in the background, take care of mundane small tasks that can be done before you actually start working with the customer. And for the customer service agent, the big thing is to actually have attended automation on the table, which enables a 360 view for the customer service, so that you can cut down the average handle time and ensure that the first time resolution is met. And then on the other hand, on the backside, of course, you can have speech to text components, actually transfer the call to text and do advanced analytics on the text content and bring up in real time pain points, next best actions, whatever you want to bring up for the customer.
So do you see that as an alternative to the intelligent routing, or are they being used alongside to sort of
I would say that they
identify
complement each other.
Yeah.
So that you have intelligent routing is really good, but it's not filling out everything. You need to do things in the background that speed up the actual transaction. And then attended automation on the desktop of the customer service agent is actually the thing that makes it really fast. In most cases, at least in Delia, we have quite a few systems and silos, so it's
I think that's not unique to Delia.
it's not unique to us. But
Only company in the world with multiple systems.
Yeah, but attended automation actually enables that you can see the whole field at the same time. And well, Heidi will tell more about how we have done it in Delia in our customer service, that we've been able to navigate through this mess of systems without any problems, so that you actually make it smooth for the customer service agent and for the customer.
Yeah.
That's basically on a high level what we see that can be done. And of course this all ends up in the invoicing, which is the last contact of the customer in most cases that might cause the next contact.
Which some are actually looking to flip around into a more beneficial interaction these days,
Exactly.
not just a one-way stream.
Yeah, and that's actually something that you need to think about, that once you send out an invoice, you can actually use that for marketing also.
Indeed.
And actually push the customer to contact you and do more sales on that side.
Indeed, another upselling means there.
Yeah.
So we have this sort of interesting palette of AI, automation, analytics based solutions at the tip of our fingers to deliver value in these omni-channel experiences and generate real-life benefits. And if we think about these benefits, we're actually generating them on many different levels for the whole organization, for the employees, and then for the customers and the end users. And sometimes when we discuss AI and automation in this context, end users may assume that we're only thinking about the corporate purpose and the benefit for the organization. But in practice, we're actually using these tools to benefit them in so many different ways. We're using the technology to build better interactions, get a more personalized approach to that. We're providing service where and when it couldn't be provided before, something which I would have benefited a few weeks back. Also, we're using technology to empower the service reps to be better at the job that they do, so find information faster and then use that information to serve the clients faster. But if we focus on the organizational benefits for a moment and the key performance indicators that we're impacting, what do these look like, and what sort of benefits are we really generating there?
It's a good question. I think first and foremost, I must say that I really like the picture. I really like Sam's picture in a way that a few years back, I think this was the dream for each and everyone being responsible for the customer service operations. That they were dreaming of this, and now it's evolving into reality. That more and more companies and organizations have an opportunity to actually have this sort of a setup made for them and set up for them. So in that sense, I think we are progressing in a really, really good direction. When talking about the KPIs through this one, I would start with, I think, one of the most important ones, which is of course the experience as such. Just what you described there, Christian. You were describing an experience. You were not describing your NPS, even if it is a KPI, but you were talking about an experience, and that of course is also a part of marketing, because we tell these tales. So there are marketing metrics attached to this one. So how much we tell about positive things related to the customer experiences to each other, of course that generates customer flow, and that's a KPI. Indeed. So that being the first one. Of course then diving deeper to the experience, of course there are then the satisfaction measurements, for example the NPS being one. Then I think I did over a decade of intensive work with these customer service centers all around Finland and some of them in Europe. And we did a lot of studies finding out that what are the two key things for the end customer when it comes to customer service. And each and every study ended up with the same results. Fluent. Everything being really, really fluent. So things go smoothly. And another one being fast.
Yeah.
So don't do those studies anymore. It's always fast and fluent. I think you've done some of the studies, probably with the same results.
Some call it Streamlining.
Yeah,
but they have the important thing that you actually get the call through fast and to the right person.
Yeah,
that's the thing. And looking like on the customer agent experience, then actually this kind of setup enables you to bring in new people much more faster because you have everything is ready and you don't need to have all the skills that you needed to have 10 years ago to actually serve the customer. And back 10 years ago you would have like a really narrow experience level. You knew something about mobile phones and that's it. And you know something about printers or whatever. And now we can actually enable that you have persons that know everything about everything. And the technology enables that you actually get the knowledge on the table and you're able to serve the customer without having the deep knowledge on every area.
Yeah, for sure. Just digging a bit deeper on the experience part, I would say that besides being fluent and fast, of course the consistency. I think this is a picture and this is a setup that promises us more consistency. So whoever is going to serve you, from whichever background, just as you mentioned it will be more consistent. And consistent, it creates brand. That people recognize that I am served in a certain way by a certain company and this is familiar for me and this is safe for me and this is good for me. So there is more consistency. I think that's one thing that you are getting out of this one. Besides those, I would say, of course, consistency and satisfaction, those lead to loyalty. And I think if there is one thing that everybody is searching at the moment, besides being fluent and fast, is that you would have loyal customers. There are many operations, whether it's finance, whether it's telecom, everybody is looking for anti-churn opportunities. Of course, there are a few steps before anti-churn, for example, loyalty, that you can create before somebody says that I'm going to ditch you.
And the important thing with loyalty is actually that if you have loyal customers, your ARPU is much higher. And that's, if you look at any company's like main KPIs, ARPU is one of the highest things. You need to get as much benefit out of your or value out of your customers. Having a small ARPU is, well, it's nice to have the money, but the more you get from each customer, the better you are. And that requires the loyalty from your customers. Which is a great bridge to another benefit, which is of course cross-selling and everything related to cross-selling, because that's of course that's the opportunity to actually create more ARPU. In a sense, and all the options are there available. Once you have the loyal customers, you have this sort of a setup put up, you can actually start to
reap the benefits out of each encounter with the customer, whether it being like a next best action type of suggestion, or the automatics doing some sort of suggestions for the customers. But there are many places where you can actually attach these ideas. I always call them ideas for the customer. So not like next selling idea, but an idea for the customer to actually create more value. So I would say that that's the area where we are getting most of the benefits out of this sort of a system. But all in all, I love the picture.
and that's exactly what we're doing sort of behind the scenes with the AI and automation tools that we have. We're turning the service encounters, the interactions into insights, and then we're acting based on those insights that we're generating. And it's kind of creating a positive development cycle in itself, all to the benefit of the customer and providing better service, even though in the background we have these KPIs that of course we are very keen on following and furthering. But if we shift from the organizational perspective to the employee perspective and talk about that for a minute, we've definitely seen what an impact robotic desktop automation and assisted automation can have on the customer service reps' performance, fetching, compiling data and presenting that in a way that really streamlines the process, makes it fluent, as Antti said. So cutting average handle times and improving first contact resolution. But how are these solutions impacting the customer service reps' jobs and how are they received in your experiences?
Change of this size requires constant communication and everyday management, and as well as an understanding why we are making this change and what benefits it will bring to you as a user. And I think this is a long journey, and it requires constant learning from all of us. And of course, the end users have to find the developed solutions relevant and easy to use, and they really have to benefit our customer service channels as well as possible. And although also the end users should feel that they have a real opportunity to influence for the developed solutions. And that's why we have involved agents from the early beginning, so they can impact for the developed solutions. And they are really important part of this development.
So getting them engaged and being a part of designing the tools that at the end of the day are designed to make their life easier actually and add value. And when there's a realization of that, that of course will help smooth the change.
That's actually a really good point, because at the end the solution is made for the customer service so that they can do their work better. If you're not listening to the customer service, who are you building the system for? You need to bring in the end user to the design loop so that they actually put the input on how the solution should look and what problems it should solve. Otherwise it's just a guessing game, and you might do a brilliant solution that doesn't serve anybody.
And they are experts in that work. They know how
the manager doesn't know how to do the work. They might know the KPIs, but not the actual work on the floor.
I would say that I would put really heavy emphasis on that question, on the fact that when we were doing all sorts of these transformations and changes in customer service center operations, there was always one big challenge ahead, and it was the learning challenge. How fast does an average person working there, how fast will they learn? Can they learn in the first place? We are looking for more and more talent on an individual employee, and then if we can speed up the learning, we can speed up pretty much everything. And I think this system also brings great benefits on speeding up the learning.
Exactly, and that's one of the big benefits with attended automation, because you can make the complex system jungle really easy to understand, because you can bring an additional layer on top of that, which makes everything look really simple and nice and pretty, and even though the background is really messy and terrible. But that's the truth.
That's often the case.
Not to mention lessening customer frustration when you can actually serve the customer with the right information instead of having to make them wait for minutes or hours on end. I think, what was it, Antti or Sam who put it very well the last time we chatted about this topic? So sort of 20% a technology battle and 80%
Yeah.
a communication and education battle, and that's where a lot of effort and focus should go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the division that is like it's spot on in many cases. That it's always like 80 to 20.
Yeah.
And I would say, like, of course we are talking about a lot of technology in this picture, for example. But anyway, even though there's a lot of technology, it's just the 20%.
Yeah.
The change and how to get the people actually to utilize the technology.
Yeah.
That's the big battle
Yeah.
that need to do.
We can say that basically, even if we have like top-notch systems available, the top-notch leaders make the top-notch systems, because you always lead the system into action. I've never seen a case where the system itself actually made the magic happen.
Yeah.
It might be right just around the corner.
Yeah, it might be the next big thing.
Indeed. So we touched based on what the future of customer encounters looks like, what the solutions are that are powering them, and a bit of the benefit side. But how do we arrive at this future state? Building up a future-proof setup that we can see here in this picture. It may seem like a lot of work or a bit of a burdensome effort to some, but there are easy ways to get started and sort of navigate on that roadmap. What could this roadmap look like, and where are sort of the easy places and quick wins to be gained?
I would say that one of the beauties about this setup is that it's modular. So you don't need to take like one system and put it in like a huge transformation project, because those are basically doomed every time.
Yeah.
But if you can go like module by module, then it's easy. Most companies have already some kind of telephony system or system for the customer service. Then you start enriching that. You put automation in the background, you put authentication in the front, you add attended automation, speech to text, analytics on top of that, workforce management, and you don't have to do it by like in a big bang.
Yeah.
You can bring one piece at a time and have a like natural transformation, like step by step over time. And I would claim that in most cases this approach is much faster than the huge big bang transformations, which tend to prolong and fail at least at some point or some part.
And this is, of course, something that you have implemented quite successfully within your own company,
Yeah.
and also together we've seen implemented elsewhere. So
Yeah, exactly.
the right way to approach that, tackle the puzzle in pieces, and of course assisted automation is also quite an easy starting point on top of the existing systems without having to do a massive overhaul around them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's much easier to eat the big cake piece by piece than just at one time.
Exactly. But of course, in the bigger picture, it is about getting these components in place and harnessing them in the proper way to create those benefits we were talking about and drive a competitive advantage. And NICE has some of the market-leading solutions for these different components in this domain. And at this point, I'd like to hand it over to Göran in Sweden for a brief introduction into NICE and the solutions that you offer in.
Thank you, Christian, and good morning, everyone. I are here to talk a little bit about NICE. We are a company who was actually started in Israel 1986. So we have been in this business for many years. And our focus on the market is actually customer experience in this one. We are representative in 150 country. We are 200 people located all over the world. I'm representative of the Nordic countries. And to give you an information about what NICE provide every day worldwide. We are actually recording 120 million records every day. There are over 3 million agents are working, scheduling every day. There are 35 million processes are automated daily from our part with our tools. So how is nice is what kind of portfolio do we have at NICE? We working with digital centric services where we can collect from any channel, even if they are email, if they are text, and if they are phone calls and everything. So we have a digital centric service. We working with customer experience insight. We using tools to see how agents interact with customers. We collect all the journey from the customer, if they starting page and going to the phone call and going to text and so on. And also we working with a lot with AI. To do this in a proper way, we need to have an agile workforce engagement where we have tools like workforce management, quality management, performance management. This is automation. Automation is one of the big part who has been for a long time in NICE history. Actually, we have been automated for 19 years at NICE. So we are one of the beginners in automation. So all these are in cloud. Not everything, but almost everything are in cloud today. So you can choose your own way, and you can also choose how to work with NICE, because we can connect automation and AI with any of these portfolio. So to talk a little bit about our customers, I prefer to talk about customers who's doing automation. It's a small piece of all the customers we are working with with automation. As you see, you can see there are a lot of names here you might know. Might know IKEA, Federal Express, and others. So this is a huge variation where you're using automation. Our world starts with Neva and our robotics. These are the robotics name for that we call our robotics. Neva, it's a tool that we are enabling intelligent process automation and releasing or unleashing employees' potential. It's a desktop robot who's actually helped the agents every day in every task and in every automation. So she is actually in the right corner every time if you want to do something. But this is not all. When we were starting on the desktop. We were starting in the hard part to automate. And then we went to the unattended automation to do it in the background, to automate process in the background. So there is no human intervention in that one or anything. So this was the first step we did in NICE. It's very common that you use both of them, and we called it hyper automation when you're using both robots and in a collaboration with the agents, because sometimes it could be a little bit more heavier automation that you need. You need to collect data from many places when you're doing in an automation. So to do that, you can connect this to each other. But it's not about just robotics when you're working with automation. It's a lot of things more. You need to have a server platform. You need to have a real-time server who actually can do it in a sec, and you don't need to wait for it. You need to have an integration layer where you can integrate with all kind of systems, what you can find out. You need to have a design environment where you can do everything, where you can build your processes, and where you can control your processes, scheduling your processes, rebuild the processes, optimize the processes. And of course, you need reports. But everything starts with how do we find these processes or tasks? You need a tool called Desktop Process Mining Tool. Our tool is Neva Discover. It's a tool I will tell you a little bit later. It's a tool who can help you to find the right process, tasks, and everything, what you like. And you also need to optimize them. Then we have Neva. Neva is our desktop robot. And the desktop robots means that you have a robot staying on your desktop where you're working and pops up whenever you need help or collecting data for you, so the agent can have a good with the customers. And in the background, you can have the unattended robot who can do scheduling, doing process in the background, or helping Neva as well if the process is expensive. There are a couple of things who is very important when you're working with automation. I won't talk about everything here, but one thing is really important. It's the connectivity. You need to connect to systems who has this old green screen, and you need to connect to Oracle, you need to connect to Java, you need to connect to website of defines, and that's a really big. And since we have there for 19 years, we do know what we do and how we do that. So we have the connectivity for almost everyone. You need to have a good tool to find all the automation or tasks that you want to do. And a very important thing, you need to have a low footprint on the desktop. An agent can't sit and wait for the process will be finished. You need to have it very fast, and you can't sit and wait because then you loosen it. So from our part, we have a very low footprint because we started on the desktop, as I told you before. Our desktop Neva, it's everything from the beginning. We have an AI and engine in the bottom where we can use Neva Discovery, we can use shape analytic, we can have real-time speech analytics, and we can also have this connectivity watcher. It's very important to find that, because if one connectivity goes down, you need to know that. But we don't do it all by, we do have some other connections with our other software. It's easy to connect Neva to conversational robots. You need to have text analytics. You need to have sentiment analysis. You should have natural language processes and natural language understanding, and also cognitive decisions. These are the things that it's very important when you're working with desktop automation. Attended automation delivers a multitude of values. You usually increase efficiency and you eliminate errors, but it's more than that. You need to have a good first contact. You need to handle the time. You need to shorten the time within them. You need to have a customer satisfaction, and that's very important. If you are interacting with a customer, the customer wants you to act fast. You can't just wait for a robot doing the process in the way back in the background and wait for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You need to have it very fast. You need to have help with training also, because many of our customers use this when they starting in the company and they train them in certain processes. And of course, sales in services, or upsell as we call it. Because if you can collect all the information for the customer in the right spot, then you can give them new opportunities. Of course, then you need to increase the compliance and so on and so on. From our part, we're talking a lot about attended automation, or Neva as we call it. That's because many companies today already have these unattended, or RPA as we call it. But now everything is moving to the desktop. Everyone wants to work on the desktop. They need to help the agents so they can be faster, more efficient, do more upsells. But there are so much to find out. Where are the processes? How do we work with this? If we have one process or a couple of tasks, the agents can do it in a different way. We need to find out who is doing the best and how. And as you can see here, there are a lot of different areas where you can use desktop automation. The variation is handling time, and it's very funny when you put Neva Discovery on the desktop, you can actually see, oh my God, why is Helga doing this that fast between Adrian, he's doing this slow, and so on. You need to measure that, and that's we using Neva Discover. From the beginning, it's the AI-based desktop analytics tool. We put it on the desktop for 20 or 40 agents and let it run there. And it identifies all the repeated tasks, how they're using it, and you can also find the bottlenecks from that one. And then you have the next step. When you have find the automation or the task then you need to look down to them, let the business analyst to see them. How can we do this much better? How can we do it easier for the agent? And how can we handle this? And these are the things that happen. Process always changing. You need coaching, training, and the system is changing, and so on. So we have also a machine learning automation done to it, so we can work with that as well. So we cover the whole part of finding processes, see how people work with the processes, optimize the processes, and do it in the background with AI and machine learning. Neva automatically generates data. It could be actually, if you're working with agent working with left mouse click, right mouse click, everything is there, so you can actually see how they're doing. We can see how they collect the data and when they collect the data, and so on. And another thing is that, as I told you before, it's the agents are doing it in a different way. Same process, they do it in a different way. So you need to do it in a more efficient way, and then you need a tool to help you to find this one. And from there, you collect a lot of candidates to do automation on the desktop. So we need to set up a processing ready to action thing, so you can see actually which one are the right one to do an automation on. on. And from there, we have a function called click to automate. You're going to see it a little bit later in a video that I have. I want to show you really more. Next step is, if you have more systems and if you connect to our other systems, you can actually have all the live interaction, what's happened in a contact center. You can put it in and let an AI select everything, and then connect our Neva, who the call out for the agent, who can then help you through the process and find lots of more information than you think. All this, it's an all-inclusive package. We have chosen the way. We don't have any extra for the server, for the developing tool, for the automation control room, for the discovering, for the designer, for OCR. We have all inclusive from the beginning. So if you buy one robot, you have almost everything there. And I say almost, it means that you might not need unattended robots. You might not need desktop robots. But you might need both of them. So if you buy one of these, you have all the others at the same time. What's new from NICE Robotics APA team. Thank you.
Your employees work hard every single day, but so much of their valuable time is wasted on inefficient processes. Okay, I see my help is needed. Leave it to Neva. Oh, I'm sorry. Leave it to Neva and Databot. Let's start to optimize and automate processes. Well, the first step is to understand how your employees perform their tasks. Using desktop analytics, we follow which applications employees use, the web pages they visit, as well as any keystrokes and mouse clicks they make. Using all this data, we identify processes which require optimization, as well as processes that your employees need to be further coached on, and also processes which we can easily automate and completely eliminate from their to-do list. We uncover repeated tasks, patterns, and bottlenecks. These insights help analysts advise the company how to optimize processes and improve the employees' productivity. Oh my God, Databot, do you know what this means? Someone just clicked Create Automation. It's time to do our thing. We did it again, Databot. Look, they're now more efficient and can invest time on what really matters and boost productivity. But that's not all. We can apply these insights to all employees. Data-driven decisions will enable the organization to optimize current processes and continuously improve the organizational performance. That was fun, Databot. Let's do another one.
Thank you, Göran, for the introduction to NICE and the overview of your progressive solution portfolio, which has also played a key role in the development of Delia's My Intelligent Work Environment, which is an internationally awarded development initiative to eliminate mundane tasks in customer service operations and, most importantly, drive a better customer experience for Delia's customers. And this has been achieved with a set of intelligent automation tools, assisted robotics, unattended back-office automation, and the efficient use of AI and analytics. And next up is Heidi to share this interesting success story with us. Heidi.
Hi, I'm here to tell you how we have used intelligent automation to make the daily work of our customer service more easier and more efficient. First, a little information about Delia Company and Delia Finland. Delia Company operates in Denmark, Estonia, Finland, Latvia, Lithuania, Norway and Sweden. We provide communication services helping millions of people to be connected and communicate, do business and be entertained. Delia company is also one of the biggest TV companies at the Nordics. Delia Finland covers basically whole Finland with our networks. We have over 4 million subscriptions and over 1 billion euros net sales. But then let's go to the Delia's journey towards intelligent automation solutions. We have done automation development for several years. Everything started on 2016 when a couple of our delivery officers were thinking how they could make their own daily work more efficient and avoid boring copy-paste work that they had a lot. They bought $30 software and started to automate their own work. They presented their idea for the management team, which got excited, of course, and that's how the RPA story of ours started. And we started to automate processes where we have the biggest volumes and most manual work. When things got bigger, we realized that we need more advanced automation and we need to build up a proper organization around RPA and bring it to the whole Delia Finland and a part of our development tools. Nowadays we have over 100 automated processes and we have gained over 10 million euros savings. 2019 we started to investigate the possibilities of robotic desktop automation, and quite soon we started to work with NICE. At the beginning we made individual solutions, gathered information and learned what we should do differently in the future. At the same time we also began to become familiar with the new technology, what the robotic desktop automation means in practice and how it could work in our environment. After that, the Neva project started. As I mentioned, we have done automation development for several years, but for the first time, Neva brought intelligent automation to an agent's desktop. So it combines RDA, RPA, APIs between different systems, deep learning components, and analytic tools. Well, let's see, what does the Neva actually do? It reduces memory-based work, it helps agents to serve customer better and reduces manual work. And by using Neva, agent can better concentrate on a customer and gain better customer experience. Here is an illustration about Neva and some of its features. When customer contacts us, Neva searches information of that specific customer and gives proposals for an agent how to proceed in different processes. It gathers needed information and forwards that to a background robot for processing. Neva also provides customer-specific sales tips and other important information about that customer. And with all that, Neva reduces the average handling time remarkably. Our Neva journey has begun well. On the last summer, we were awarded on the world's largest customer experience conference by the year's best customer experience innovation. Then a few words about the people and change part in this project. As we discussed on the panel discussion as well, technology enables the change, but people are the ones who make it happen. In Neva project, we have a key users team, and these key users take part on the analysis phase. They test new features and act in a support of their colleagues. So we have involved our end users in the planning from the very beginning. And we have, for instance, a Teams channel where all the users can give feedback and improvement suggestions. It's important that the end users feel that they have a real opportunity to influence future and existing solutions. And in this journey, we have seen new roles, old roles growing into something new possibilities for our employees, and a great viewpoint for all of us to see and experience something new. Then a few words about the strategy. IA is not a separate operation or function or department in Delia or in Delia Finland. It's a part of our strategy. And Delia Finland's aim is to become a market leader in customer loyalty, and one way to get there is by simple and digital operations. And IA plays an important role when we look at our strategy and ambitions for the near future. And along with other tools, we are building a digital culture and company. And when we look closer, we want to increase employee efficiency, aim to have better customer experience and efficient process flows. This is one way to describe our way of implementing Delia's strategy. We are using RPA and Neva solutions to make things more efficiently and to reduce manual work. And we are using chatbot and IA integrations to increase level of self-service and speech-to-text and analytic tools to provide us insight and updated data. And all this helps us to achieve better customer experience. Here was a short presentation about the case Neva. We think that our journey is just starting, and we expect a lot more in the future. We aim to be more intelligent, more efficient, and make customers' life easier than ever. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Heidi, for sharing that inspiring success story with us today. And also a huge thanks to Antti, Göran and Sam for participating in the discussions today and sharing your thoughts and presentations with us. If you're interested in discussing these topics further, please don't hesitate to reach out to any one of us. Thank you and bye-bye.